Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Bruce Breslow joins us. He's the CEO of Nevada Strategies and a Nevada legend, here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
Hello, is this D&D Roofing?
Yes, it is. How may I help you?
You did such a great job on my roof. May I speak to the owner?
I am an owner.
Oh, can I speak to your supervisor?
Sure.
How may I help you?
I love your work. May I speak to the owner?
I am an owner. We're all owners. Well, that's why at D&D we work so hard to keep your home safe and sound.
Oh, no wonder.
D&D Roofing and Sheet Metal. Local, employee-owned, here for you.
Pro Group Management offers workers' comp services to a growing number of industries. As businesses grow and change with the times, the need for a solid workers' comp program must be flexible and up to date. The evolving nature of regulations can make staying ahead of complex tasks challenging. But Pro Group Management simplifies the work so your industry can move forward and succeed. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Truck drivers are some of the hardest working people you'll meet, delivering over 70% of America's freight and 92% of Nevada's. When there's a natural disaster, they're delivering critical supplies to help those communities recover and rebuild. Every sector of the economy and our nation's military rely on truck drivers. So let's take a moment to say thank you. On the open road or city streets, our truck drivers are rolling to make our economy and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always pleased to welcome back to the program Bruce Breslow. He is the founder and CEO of Nevada Strategies. Pleasure to have you back on the program, sir.
Good to see you, Sam.
The reason, or one of the reasons I wanted to have you on the program was the Raiders Stadium. In addition to a storied career in state government and local government, you started out life as a sportscaster, and you've maintained that by doing the Olympics over many, many years. The Raiders Stadium, I don't think people really have an understanding of what this is going to mean to Las Vegas and then eventually, of course, the state of Nevada. Can you give us an idea of, beyond just football games, what this is really going to mean?
Well, having an NFL team and having a stadium like they're going to have is the equivalent of how people view the city of Dallas. All of the international exposure they've had, all the national exposure they've had been because of the Dallas Cowboys and that stadium. And you think of how many times people have seen that stadium and the giant scoreboards and all of that. It means that you're no longer a small gaming community. It means you are a large city, and the perception of Las Vegas around the country will change completely. I mean, people think Green Bay, Wisconsin's a big city because they have a football team. It's a tiny little town, and the team's owned by the people of the town. But this really is another step for Las Vegas to become one of the great cities, you know, in America. That's not because of gaming, but because of all the other quality of life things. Okay, so, you know, right now the city of Las Vegas is 2 million people. Eventually, over the next couple of decades, it's going to be 3 million people. Does that really make it a big city, or is this all imagery? Well, it depends, because the city of Las Vegas is a smaller area. The county is large, and you see how Henderson started off small and took off. So I always compared Las Vegas to Phoenix, and all of a sudden, you know, they got more land. So Mesa started to expand, and then Mesa became 1 million people. It depends where the land comes from, and it's all through BLM and land bills and things like that. But People certainly are migrating to warmer climates, especially people our age.
People in their mid-30s, right?
And the more you have for the community, the more it attracts people. And football stadium is just another venue.
Okay, so am I right in thinking that what Las Vegas did with the NFR is a model for what's going to happen with the Raiders Stadium? Because the NFR is a rodeo. It came on in a slow time of year for Las Vegas, and over the years, it has grown into a 10-day event. Not only that, it's played at Thomas and Mack, but every hotel on the Strip has events that are surrounding the NFR. You don't even have to go to the rodeo to be a part of the celebration. Is the Raiders Stadium going to make this times 1,000? Is that
times 1,000?
I don't know, because
might be times 12.
Well, you look at the Tesla effect versus MGM opening a 1,000-room casino. That was the hugest thing that happened in 1978 for Reno, and that spurred a huge growth period. You see what happened with Tesla. That's literally 1,000 times bigger.
Yes, but in Las Vegas, you have competing large venues, which you don't have in a lot of cities. Very few cities can say they have a T-Mobile Arena and they're going to have an MGM Sphere. Those are two major concert facilities. You've got the hockey team.
Actually, it's Madison Square Garden, MSG.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right, because it's Las Vegas Sands.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, you said MGM. Okay. That's all right.
I messed that one up.
Let's just keep going here.
The professional bull riding, they do that at AT&T Stadium where the Cowboys play. I expect maybe the championships might move from Thomas and Mack. You're going to have two playing surfaces. You're going to have grass, just like the Phoenix model, which they're going to put on rollers and roll it in for NFL games because you need to play it on the grass for the safety of the players. They're going to roll it out and put artificial turf on for UNLV when it plays its football games there. They probably need to cover that if they're going to put in monster trucks and other major motocross, things like that. Super concert venues. If the Rolling Stones are coming to town, you put it in a football stadium. It'll easily, triple the amount of people that you'll see elsewhere. NCAA finals in basketball go to football stadiums now. They didn't used to. And the views are usually terrible. People end up watching them on the big screens.
Right.
But you can, you'll definitely see the NCAA basketball championships come as they go to different places, stop there. United States soccer matches versus the world. Large-scale soccer, I think, will be there. Even ran into a fellow who is trying to bring the World Cricket Association to America, talking with stadiums across the country.
Well, there's a large Southeast Asian population, not only in Nevada, but around the West, that could easily fill a 65,000-seat stadium for cricket.
Well, there's so many different, cricket is the #2 sport in the world. Americans
are going, what? Cricket?
But yeah, I can see that. College bowl games, probably move, the college football championship usually goes to 3 or 4 stadiums and it rotates. You upgrade the bowl game that you're going to have in Las Vegas and you'll eventually get in that rotation if you perform well. All-star games, rugby, international test matches, things like that. I smile at monster trucks and monster jams and supercross, but those are held at stadiums. And then if we ever get to the point where, UFC or boxing has the one big giant fight, I can see it elevating to the size of this stadium as opposed to...
Like a McGregor fight?
Well, McGregor fight might draw another 10,000 people, but something that would be bigger than that. And I think it's all a matter of timing in those sports when you have the media building people up into somebody that good. But yeah, you could have had the fight versus Pacquiao there. People probably would have filled the stadium for that.
And it's amazing because we've been trained over the years now, because as more and more events have gone to bigger and bigger venues, we've all gotten accustomed to being in the nosebleed seats and watching on the screens anyway, which is kind of ironic. But there's nothing like being at a live event.
Well, no, and there's nothing more boring than watching a sporting event from very far away or on a little tiny television screen either. It's a whole different experience. Hockey fans understand that watching it on television is almost impossible to follow the puck. You go to a hockey event live, it is the most incredible live sporting event there is. And the unfortunate part is the stadiums are so big now that unless you're sitting on the lower levels, you do watch most of the game on the scoreboard up above because it's just so much bigger and easier to follow. But that gives you more marketing opportunities and messaging and
Absolutely.
things like that.
And obviously huge money goes along with that. The NFL draft, just reading the stories this morning about the plans to shut down a portion of the strip in front of Bellagio.
3 days.
Yeah, I mean, share what that means.
Well, they expect a couple 100,000 people to come to that.
That's incredible.
And they built one stage on the lake in front of the fountains that they will be walking down the red carpet and doing the big announcements there. They have another stage in front of Caesars. They have another stage that's going to be, a couple other properties, and that will all fill up. And, Las Vegas never expected that the first round of the NCAA basketball championships to be their biggest weekend of the year. It turns out the demographic of young men coming to Las Vegas just rose exponentially to come, and all of the properties had big parties and watching outside in the Fremont Street and everywhere else. Well, that drew a lot of young ladies that came as well, and it became the top weekend in Vegas. The convention center is going to have to compete. There are some events that will continue to grow, and they may end up at the stadium, or at least using the stadium for large speaking tours.
Really?
Things like that, yes.
So it would be part of the
evangelical things.
Yes.
They'll book the stadium as they come around.
So for our older listeners and viewers, the Billy Graham type.
Yeah.
Because he used to fill stadiums all around the world.
And there's motivational speakers that are at that level that people follow, and I can see Comic-Con. They could try to steal that and other things. So.
Do you see sports? Because people know that you and I have both, come from an advertising background as well. And it seems to me that as politics has become more and more negative in this country, that where people used to love to listen to talk radio, to listen to politics, a lot of people are being soured from that, and they're moving to sports talk radio because it's more fun. Even though they're passionate about their teams, but they want to listen to the discussions, the arguments, whatever. And is that what Las Vegas is capitalizing on, is that sports are a happier place, even if your team is losing, than listening to all this political talk?
Well, there's other cities in the world that have a lot of much larger casinos, but there's no one that can recreate the experience of the totality of the Las Vegas Strip. No one can come close. And the events that occur, there's 20 concerts a night or more. It's an incredible happening, but that's not the community. The community may go to a show here or there, but they stay away from the Strip for traffic reasons and things like that, like people up in northern Nevada stay away from downtown if they don't have an event to go to. The stadium being there brings the community back in.
Well, and don't we have an example with the Golden Knights of the community just absorbing and their
They adopted and fell in love with the Golden Knights. And the only sport I don't think would do well would be Major League Baseball. You've got 81, I believe, home games, and that's a lot of people to fill in. And I see a lot of other populations with cities with larger populations not being able to do that. And that time of year and the summer and everything else that competes, I don't know that Major League Baseball is a good thing. I can see an NBA franchise coming to Las Vegas in the near future, and that would probably be at T-Mobile if a lot of their concerts end up at the Sphere. So,
all right, let's take a break. More with Bruce Breslow. Exciting stuff when we come back.
Tamarack Junction is South Reno's hotspot with over 450 of the latest slots and video games. Sully's Sports Bar, the Dining Car Restaurant, William Hill Sportsbook, and the Tamarack Steakhouse and Lounge. We're just north of the Summit Mall in South Virginia. Yeah.
Ahern Rentals began as Signal Gas Station on Las Vegas Boulevard. Founder John Ahern grew the business by offering rentals. His son Don built on John's legacy, growing Ahern Rentals into the largest independently owned American rental company, with 89 locations in 30 states. Don also brought his experience and vision to equipment manufacturing with Extreme Manufacturing and Snorkel. Today, Ahern Rentals continues to bring its family values to a new generation. Learn more at ahern.com.
Hi, I'm Eric Robnett, owner of Home Energy Experts. Has this ever happened to you?
Honey, did you remember to turn down the thermostat?
Forgetting to set the temperature? Not fun. We can help. Our new smart thermostat keeps the temperature set for your comfort all by itself.
I'm feeling hot now.
To increase your comfort, go to homeenergyexperts.com for details. That's homeenergyexperts.com.
The signs and symptoms of cataracts can start out small with subtle changes in your vision. So don't wait. Be proactive and take your vision into your own hands. If you're experiencing the onset of cataracts or just have questions, contact your eye care professional or call Eye Care Associates of Nevada today. Dr. Hiss has years of experience specializing in the surgical correction of eye disorders and has completed over 84,000 vision correcting procedures. At Eye Care Associates of Nevada, we'll change the way you look at the world.
The Tamarack Junction Steakhouse is known for signature steaks, handcrafted cocktails, and world-class wines. Join us Thursdays and Friday nights from 4:30 to 6:30 in the Steakhouse Lounge for live music, gourmet plates, and well-priced wines, just north of the Summit Mall on South Virginia.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Bruce Breslow. He is the CEO of Nevada Strategies. So I'd mentioned, that there just seems to me that talk radio, with the exception of a few big stars, is losing a lot of ground to sports radio.
It is. Having satellite radio for a sports fan is heaven. You have your own dedicated NFL channel, a Major League Baseball channel, you have college sports channels, you have ESPN, you have Fox, you have all this. And so I think for that it helped. But when you talked about people being tired of the news and tired of the it's not news, it's entertainment. So they
Correct.
hire people to argue points and they call it a news network. One day somebody's going to actually say just the news and no opinion, and I think there'll be a good audience for that. But when times get tough, and right now you see all the infighting between the party politics and the this and the that, people turn to other things, and you'll see science fiction making a huge comeback on television and in the movies. You see the superhero movies. You have things that are escapism. And sports is just another escapism from the horrors of what you have to put yourself through if you want to try to watch what's called a news show these days.
No, and it's I remember after 9/11, there was a receptionist at the television station I was working at who said to me, all day long I'm watching the Twin Towers coming down of my job, and then I go home at night and I have to keep watching. And it's like a news IV. And she was very depressed. And I said, when you come home, you need to watch something else. Watch a comedy, watch a movie, watch anything else. Because the reality is the Twin Towers came down once, but you've seen them come down 1,000 times. Mm-hmm. And that's what's upsetting you. And that's what's upsetting our country. This country is in great shape. It is still the land of opportunity. There are tremendously huge amounts of good things that are going on. And yet, if you watch a news program, you'd think the whole world is on fire.
Well, it depends on what
With the
city
exception
you're
of Nevada
living into.
Newsmakers, by the way.
And thank you. I support your program.
Thank you.
I subscribe to both the Reno Gazette-Journal and the Las Vegas Review-Journal. And it takes me online 2 minutes to read every story in the Reno paper. 2 minutes. The Las Vegas Review-Journal, shockingly, I got 20 minutes worth of real news content and real sports content and timely. People don't know where to go to get their information now so that they can look, find it, and be satisfied with it. And I was shocked that the Review Journal had that much news in it. And I'm not talking about the opinion page. I don't even read editorials anymore because I just don't have the patience for it.
For all the flack that Sheldon Adelson took for buying the paper and paying $140 million for it, he has invested significant amount of money. And a prominent person who I will not name at the paper said, thank goodness that Gatehouse didn't end up owning us, because otherwise we would have been less than the Reno Gazette-Journal. But now we have the resources to really cover the news, and I think they've done a good job. The only thing, like you say, is take the editorial opinion for what it is and know that it's a conservative paper. They have conservative opinions. Sheldon Adelson has certain opinions, and they're going to come through. But as far as the news content of that paper, I think it's terrific. Let's take one more break. I want to talk about Olympics with you when we come back.
Dimitri Prine here for Design Outdoor. Come visit Design Outdoor's store and backyard to see our wide selection of fire pits, barbecues, and pizza ovens, natural stone water features and fountains, and frost-proof pottery. Our store and backyard are located at 11600 South Virginia, just north of DeMonte Ranch Parkway. Visit designoutdoor.com or call us at 851-9499.
Can't do it. Stupid, like my mom.
We can't do anything at Mommy's because you won't pay child support.
Dad said you cheated, and he's not even sure he's my dad.
Mommy said you left both of us, so she isn't gonna let me see you. I look just like my father.
I'm divorce attorney Marilyn York, and I may represent men, but hate has no gender, only casualties. Please, stop sacrificing your children in your war against your ex.
Hi, I'm Dave Newman. Remember me? I used to be the house detective, and now I'm a realtor, full-time at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates. A lot of people ask me, how's the market? You know what? It's fantastic. If you're even kicking around the idea of buying or selling, give me a call. Let's talk about it. Call me at RE/MAX Realty Affiliates and just ask for the guy who used to be the house detective, Dave Newman.
Everyone is talking about opioids, but they're not the only drugs that can be harmful if taken in large quantities or not as prescribed. You also need to be aware of side effects from anxiety drugs, muscle relaxants, sleep aids, and stimulants. Mixing prescription drugs with other drugs or alcohol can be dangerous. If you take Ambien with a glass of wine, it may be enough to stop you from breathing. Prescribed drugs can be just as dangerous as illegal drugs. Take medications only as directed.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Bruce Breslow. He's the CEO of Nevada Strategies. So, as I said at the top of the show, one of the things that you've been doing for decades is covering the Olympics all over the world. Tell us some things about covering the Olympics that would surprise people.
One, they keep hiring me, so I'm going to Japan July, August to broadcast basketball. I worked for, it was a small group of countries to start with, Australia, New Zealand, Malaysia, Singapore, and they had this little network. And then other countries went, well, it's much cheaper for us to join your network than put our entire broadcasting crew there. Not other countries aren't like NBC. So now that group got bought by the International Olympic Committee. So we feed every country all the time.
Really? Okay.
Now, Nelson Mandela tried to have me fired once. How's that one? There was a little article in Sports Illustrated about a boxer, and it said in the village of Soweto. Well, I wasn't that familiar with Soweto, so I saw village, Soweto. And it said that he trained with no electricity and no running water and a dirt floor and stuff. So I took that Sports Illustrated article, and when that boxer showed up and I was doing his match, I used some of that. And I got called into the executive producer's office. Mr. Breslow, where did you get your source for this? And I said, well, Sports Illustrated. He goes, do you happen to have that copy? I go, back in the hotel room. Would you mind going and getting it? I go, sure. Do you want me to bring it in tomorrow? No, now. So I take a bus, I find it, I come back, I show him, and he goes, thank you very much. And I said, well, what was this all about? And he goes, well, apparently Soweto is a city of about 5-6 million people, and they have electricity and they have running water, and it's a flashpoint with the apartheid in South Africa. And we have received a call asking for a retraction to take you off the air. But since you used a credible, reliable source for your information, we're not going to do that. We're going to stand by what you said, and we will tell this gentleman to check with the reporter. I said, well, who was the gentleman? Nelson Mandela. Oh my God.
Well, they do call it the township of Soweto, so I mean, it's fairly easy if you're not familiar with the jargon.
The article called it a village, township, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, so you're heading off to Japan, so have a wonderful time.
Thank you.
I want you to come back because one of the places you represent is the city of Fallon. And there's a lot going on there.
There is, and I would love to bring the county manager along.
Let's arrange it. So when you come back, all right? Thank you. Always a pleasure to see you, my friend. And we'll be right back. A bird's eye captures its surroundings at different heights. At Brian Culpa Photography, we can make your imagination soar over buildings, parks, cityscapes, and beyond. Brian's images tell the story and get the job done. If you need a new perspective to tell your story, contact Brian today. Brian Culpa Photography. Experience the bird's eye view at brianculpaphotography.com.
Hi, my name's Marilyn Miner, and I'm sure you'd agree that Nevada's a very special place to live. I was born here, and my husband and I have raised our family here. I feel it's a privilege to live and work in the Truckee Meadows. I especially enjoy helping my clients reach their real estate goals. Sometimes the smallest details provide the greatest satisfaction. I'd be complimented to talk to you about your next move.
Call Marilyn Miner at Dixon Realty, 742-1280, or log on to marilynminer.com.
St. Ives Florist, for every holiday and every special occasion. For romance. Custom home design. We have the largest selection of fresh flowers in northern Nevada. And we also offer a large selection of unique gift items. Come see me, Lori Ann, at St. Ives Florist, 700 South Wells Avenue, or call me at 333-9190.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
You can now watch Nevada Newsmakers on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search for Nevada Newsmakers and become a subscriber. We'll see you on the next broadcast. Thanks for watching and listening.